Hello everyone, welcome back to Global Sassitude. And this month we are going to focus on the most important people in the world. Yes, I'm going to say that because I'm biased. Who are the mothers? Mothers are the most important people in the world. Yes, we grow up with our mothers, at least for me, right? And this is a month where we pay tribute to all mothers in the world. Happy Mother's Day. And the three of us, Lisa, Shirley and me, Pauline, we are all mothers. So, I'm Pauline Teo. I'm a financial wellness mentor.
My name is Shirley, and I'm a beauty business coach. And I'm Lisa, and I'm a women's wellbeing coach.
Yes, and we are in three different sectors in financial, in beauty and wellness, and also in mindfulness. So today we are going to talk about a topic that is very, I would say, in the core of all mothers, which is how to balance our mind and body in the midst of all the hustle and bustle between work, life, family, relationship, even taking care of ourselves. So this topic, I think, is right up Lisa's alley, right? Yeah, because it's all about mindfulness. Now, if you want to know more about the previous episode where we talked about the challenges, feel free to go to the episode. That is, there's a link over there, and you can watch. We talk about a little bit about ourselves and also which area that we are in, and we also talk about the challenges. So go to the video. You can take a look at our previous episode. So today we are talking more about our mind and body balance. So Lisa, do you want to share with us more about this thing about mindfulness? Because you are always an advocate on how women should have more mindfulness and taking care of ourselves in that space. Yeah.
And mindfulness, it's such a word
Yeah.
that people use, but I actually use it as in mindful nice, as in
mindful nice.
mindful nice to yourself. What is nice for you? Because mindfulness can mean a lot to different people. To me, it means doing yoga, going to the beach, dreaming and planning my next holiday. So it's mindful nice. Everyone has a different view on it. But I actually went and studied to become a yoga teacher a few years ago. And that was something that really brought home to me is being present with yourself today, being mindful, nice to yourself, and making decisions that are good for you internally, not decisions that are good for you externally.
I see.
Does that kind of make sense?
Maybe you want to elaborate a little bit more? Yeah, give us an example. Yeah, on that.
An
Yes.
example.
It's a little bit abstract, I know. Yeah. Yes.
If you're a woman, when you're a woman with children, you focus all on the children. If you're being mindful, nice to yourself, you need to work out ways where you can actually become present and go internal within yourself. A lot of that, I probably need a whole episode on this, but one of the easiest ways to do is breath work. If you do go to a yoga class or if you go to meditation or anything like that, the mind and the body and the breath need to align with each other. And this is from my yoga training. But with your breath work, we spend a lot of time in a sympathetic nervous system state, which is your fight or flight, where you're ready to run and hurry. But there's a lot of breath work that you can actually then change yourself into a parasympathetic nervous system state, which is your rest and digest, which is when you go to sleep state. And as a mother, I've been caught with children down the street screaming when they were little, and I didn't know about this. As a marriage celebrant, sometimes I've gone to do a wedding where there's 200 people and there's so many different parameters around it. My mindful nice to myself at that time is to do a breath called belly breath. And you can all do it. Belly breath. It's called belly breath. And it's a breath where it's a breath where it's a breath where if you do about 6 times and no one knows you're doing it, so that's one of the fabulous things about it. You'll inhale deep into your belly and you feel your belly rise. And then as you exhale out through your nose, your belly will fall. Now, if you do that 6 times, that actually gets the parasympathetic nervous system working, and that will instantly calm you. People with anxiety, people shouldn't. If you're anxious about something or you've got anxiety, try your belly breath. It works wonders. The other thing which I think I didn't know when I had the younger children is to be present. When you're as a working mum and you've got your children, you're thinking, okay, I've got to do the lunches, I've got to do dinner, I've got to go to work, I've got to pick him up from sport, I've got to do here, and here. But you're actually not enjoying what you're doing at that present moment. So what mothers need to do is realize I'm having a cup of coffee. Just for that present moment that you're having that cup of coffee, yes, enjoy that cup of coffee and not be thinking about where you're going and being present. It's one of those things, once you start doing it, you'll be amazed how natural it comes to you. Like you're having your coffee. If you start thinking about where you're going, notice that you thought that, stop the thought, and continue to enjoy your coffee. So there's so many different ways. It's mindful, nice. So just think, if you think mindfulness, what is nice for your mind and what's good for your mind and good for you.
Yes.
That works. That makes a bit of sense.
It does. It does.
The
And it's so
belly button
simple.
is fabulous.
Yeah. So the next question actually I wanted to ask, I don't need to ask that question, which is what is the maximum, like something that I can use the minimum time to create the maximum impact in terms of my mindfulness, which is first to stay present. Well, staying present is a choice. It doesn't take a lot of effort. It is not something that you need to really have a lot of strength to do it, but it is making a choice that I want to be present. So when I enjoy a cup of coffee, I enjoy my cup of coffee. Kids,
Yes.
hold on for a while.
That's
This
it.
10 minutes, I just want to enjoy my cup of coffee and be present. That's all. It's a choice, right? And the next thing would be to breathe. What's so difficult? You know, it's the simplest thing of all that we all have to do 24 by 7 as long as we are alive, which is to breathe. But it's a conscious breathing. So just take 6 breaths. 6 breaths would just take you probably about 2 minutes at most, I would say.
Doesn't
Yeah,
take
so
long at
this
all.
2 minutes, right? So take 6 breaths, feel the breath in your tummy and
Your belly
breathe it out.
rises.
Yeah,
No
yes.
one
So
knows you're doing it.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Okay.
be present, and sometimes we could just be present and do this at the same time. 2 minutes, be present with ourselves and do that 2 minutes of 6 times of that's
Easy.
all it takes, right? Easy.
It's
Great.
why
And it's the same what you've just said, Pauline, being conscious about it. If I can give an example. So yesterday I was doing it for a marketing campaign and I have to read my script and then I cannot speak with the script. I have to speak without the script. Everything was so quick that I had to learn that script really quickly. And I was reading it, and as soon as we started shooting, the video content, I kept on saying my words wrong. And I would mix it up. I will say the wrong things. I would be like, okay, let's just do it again. Let's just do it again. And we did already about like 5, 6 takes. And I knew that something else needs to happen. So I always remembered that, breath work is so important, but I don't think up until yesterday I actually really understood how important it is. So I was conscious about it. I said, give me a moment, guys. I walked out. I did the breath work exactly like Lisa, because Lisa actually taught it to me at the boot camp, like really feeling really, yeah, and she just spoke about it randomly in a conversation that we had. And I went and I felt it in my belly. I did it 6 times. I was so calm. I really took in the present moment where I was, and I read over my voice, and I'm like, okay, just speak from the heart, and I did it perfectly. So it's being conscious, and it really does work.
Yes.
it does.
So you see, a simple mindfulness to ourselves can actually make it work. And that
Yeah.
brings also then to the next part, which is we talk about mind. Then how about body? It seems like mind is easy to take care of because it's like to be present and maybe 6 breaths that would take care of maybe for that day. And we can simply do it on a daily basis, right? Probably in the midday or during the time when the kids are taking their naps, or maybe when the kids are going to school, doing their own stuff, playing their own toys. We can do this thing on the mindfulness. How about the body part, right? So, anyone of you have any tips to talk about regarding the body? Yeah, Shirley.
Definitely be better
Yes.
saying with the body. But I would like to add something before Lisa gives, because I would love to give the advice on this. But what I love to do, and unfortunately, I am a bit overweight at the moment because I
But I
never
heard, Shirley, you used to be even more overweight and you have lost quite a bit. So maybe you want to share with us what you did to lose so much weight. Yeah, let us know how much have you lost over the years. Yeah.
So I've unfortunately picked it up again. That's the problem. So I was
Okay.
really skinny. I was really, really tiny. I think I always weighed between 48 and 50 kgs. That was my normal weight. And I picked up so much weight with my second born, and then started my business, obviously, and I just never. So then I lost about 15 kgs, but I picked it all up again. And that's because I'm not looking after my body. I'm not. But what I have
Ah.
started is dancing again because I remembered, I reflected back. What is it that I really did in the past that I really love? And I remembered it was dancing. So now I will put a jam on and I will just, I don't care how I look. There's this program in South Africa which they call it's a kid show, Tiff and Chuff, where it's two little fat little men dancing in this costume. And when I started dancing, my one son said, "You look like Tiff and Chuff." And I'm like, I don't think, you know, I'm just bullying. But that's really helped me when I started. Is that something, Lisa, that is part of the body?
Yes. Lisa, maybe you can help us, like mothers, like especially for me right now, nearing this the thing of menopause. We are starting to hit the peri-menopause, and it just I just eat normally like 3 meals a day, and the weight will just go up. The body fats will just go up. Yeah. So maybe you want to share with us a little bit more on that. Yeah.
There's so many different parameters to what you want to do. If we're talking about like Shirley, one of the things that I always say is, yes, exercise, pick something that you love, but also pick something that's out of your comfort zone. So you're actually pushing yourself, because when you push yourself, you're growing. And we do need to grow. So like for me, my thing is I go to the beach. That's my easy exercise. I go for a walk to the beach. But the thing where I push myself is sometimes I might go, okay, I've really got to go and do that gym class. And I think there's a two-sided edge to that. Choosing something that you love's easy. Like it's easier to do if you're time poor. Like Shirley dances, you dance with the children. Like that's a fabulous idea. But we need to continue to grow as our children grow. And as the body changes and as the body grows, keep stepping out of your comfort zone with doing things. That's also a bit on the mind. That's sort of going a bit back to the mind as well. I personally choose things that won't injure me. And I've done that for many years. I played netball when I was young and had so many injuries. And then when I became a mother, I couldn't go and play netball because if you've got a sore ankle, you can't have a sore ankle or an injured wrist and look after your children. So there's so many different aspects to it of looking after your body. But as I mentioned in one of the earlier episodes, is look for opportunities in things. If you're a young mum with a baby and the baby won't go to sleep, instead of thinking, I've got to take the baby for a walk, throw on your runners, throw on your gym gear and go, I'm exercising. So look for opportunities to turn a task into exercise, even the groceries. Instead of going, I've got to do the groceries, it's like, I'm doing the groceries. It's my gym workout. And then the body, as you get older, you realize that I've always eaten healthy. I've always been conscious of what I eat. But then as you do get older and you start to go through menopause, the impacts to the body are different and you really need to healthy. That's the body. I'm just healthy, healthy, healthy all the way.
I remember we went to the theme park in Singapore. We went to Universal Studios, me and Lisa. We went with another friend, Nadine, and there was a little where you can buy food. And Lisa said she hasn't had a hot dog, and I think you said, was it 4 years?
Yes, it was about 4 years I haven't had a hot dog. Could have been 5. I was like, a hot dog.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I was eating hot dogs every second day.
I seldom take hot dogs too. I think it's the last round I take one that's really a small chicken frank. Okay, was because a friend just hit up and all right, then he just said, okay, I'll just take one. Right. So normally I also don't really take hot dogs like for years.
This was a big hot dog and it had sauce on it. It was really long and I'm like, it's really good.
Well, I always find that, we need to strike a balance. It's always an 80-20 rule. I'm a wellness mentor as well. Apart from financial, lately I went into wellness mentoring where I share with people what to eat. I have a certificate from the Harvard Medical in terms of lifestyle medicine. So I studied a lot in terms of how the body function, especially for women, the amount of protein that we need to take, which is really important, especially the good protein, the wholesome food rather than processed food. I think for body, there's really a lot that we could do as mothers to take care of ourselves. So physical body is important. I know many women like to say, I've given birth to children and my hubby loves me a lot. It doesn't really matter whether I'm fat or I'm skinny or how I look. No, it's not true. Right? All of us love to really look good. It's not just about looking good, it's feeling good.
It's feeling
It's
good,
having
feeling
that
beautiful.
energy. Yes. Once we have that energy, we will feel beautiful, we'll feel good. And it does help in terms of mindfulness as well. right? So I believe in that. I believe that taking care of our body, because you will find that if it gets heavy, it gets a little bit sluggish, and we lack that energy. And somehow the inflammation will become really high. So some of the things that I think as mothers, we have to take care of two aspects in terms of our body. One is in terms of our nutrition. I always believe in this. We need to have the right diet, the right supplements, and the right exercise. Now, I know this seems like very difficult, but once you create a habit on it, frankly speaking, it can be an everyday life. For example, when we talk about daily nutrition, like Lisa is mentioning, she takes care of what she eats. Just like me, I take care of what I eat as well. Like early morning would be more like a Greek yogurt, plain Greek yogurt with fruits that feed on our guts and our microbiomes, right? So go for high protein stuff. Lunch, always make sure there's lots of vegetables and fruits, right? Yeah, vegetables, fruits, protein, and some carbs. And carbs, go for complex carbs like sweet potato, yam. Go for wholesome food, right? Rather than processed food. Dinner, focus a lot on, let's say, protein, all right, and of course the vegetables. Lesser carbs at night because we are not going to move a lot during nighttime. So if we take care of this diet, frankly speaking, we're quite all right. And we don't need to starve ourselves. The key thing I see a lot of ladies, sometimes I see them, it's like, oh, you know what? I'm so busy, I'm not eating the whole day. And what do they starve themselves with? They starve themselves with lots of bread, pizza, those kind of like processed food. Why? Because they do not have the time to eat. So they just grab anything, right, that's off the fridge, put it in the microwave, and just stuff it into their stomach. So make sure that as we take care of our family, we need to take care of ourselves. So if we spend time to really think through what we want to get for our children in terms of their nutrition, we should also do the same thing for ourselves. That's why my children, they eat very healthily, right? Early morning, like 3 eggs. My boy will go for 3 eggs with mushrooms, omelets, and he has some protein shake. They hit the gym, and I do exercise every morning. I go for morning walks. So let's say you say, oh, I've got no time for exercises. You know what? If you are having babies, that's the easiest for you to do exercises, right? You carry them. They are free weights. Yes, you can do all your Pilates work with your baby as well. What's stopping you from carrying this weight and having fun with them while you're doing your squats? You can do your
Opportunity.
squats. Yeah, with carrying your baby, and you just go down and up, down and up. You can do your squats with babies. You can bring them in a stroller and go for your walk. I see mothers bring strollers and have a run with the babies. So incorporate this and plan out the time for your exercises, your walks, and all your activities. So as long as we stay active, I believe we would be able to take care of our body and we will feel more energy. Right? Yeah. So when we talk about this, it's part of our self-care for mothers, right? So that's where we are looking at. We talk so much about mindfulness, we talk about the body. How can we incorporate all this? So maybe let's start off because we do have like different mothers age group. Some are in their 30s where they have young children. Some probably in the 40s where their children are like teenagers. And some maybe in the 50s or 60s where their children have grown up and they have more time. So I believe we represent the different groups because Shirley is in her 30s with young children, me having slightly adult children. All right, but I can share a little bit more when they are like teenagers, and maybe Lisa can share a bit more, like for example, when as empty nesters sometimes, right, when the children grow up and they have gotten married. What should we do in the different space in our mindfulness as well as our body? So let's start off with Shirley. Having young kids, how would you advise the mothers with young children to take care of these two aspects? Yes.
To
And
do
incorporate them in
exactly.
their life.
The thing is, it was never a priority for me. It wasn't ever a priority. As soon as I had my babies, everything shifted from what I knew about or how I thought it will be. Everything shifted to this baby. I had one of the most difficult pregnancies. I had one of the most difficult first babies. And everything was just all about him. And I didn't really have that support. So unfortunately, I don't have a mum, that cares and I can talk to and bounce ideas off. And I also didn't grow up having a relationship with my mum, which is sad because that also closed the door to invite friends and to be able to, have that relationship with other women. It's only now, later on in my life, that I realized how important it is to have beautiful friends and, have that connections. But it wasn't never a priority for me. It wasn't. And I think that's how I ended up being overweight and really struggling now with losing weight is because it was never a priority. I never knew how to eat healthy because I was always skinny and it was not a problem for me to be skinny because it was just there. But then when I had my babies, everything changed. My system changed, and now it's starting to connect with my system. Who I am, what it likes, what it doesn't like. So I had to see a nutritionist coach, which helped a lot. And she said, so get away from certain foods. And so the first advice I would give is do love yourself. Love yourself enough to take care of your body because when you get older, where I am now, it is such a struggle to now incorporate it. When the bad habits has been solid, the bad habits are so solid that it's difficult to break it. The kids are so used to pizza and KFC and all these bad foods. If I'm going to start incorporating healthy foods now, it's going to be a shock to their system and to them. So do it from the start. Love yourself, make it a habit, and eat healthy because I'm 38. I'm really struggling with my weight and, getting into the habit of exercising, going for walks. It's lovely, but it's a hassle and it's a real constant struggle every day to do it because it's never been part of my life.
All right, great. So for me, when my kids, let's say, is in my teenage years, I really love that because I have more time for myself. And just like partially say, I start to love myself even more, and I start to realize that having good nutritious food is important for them because they are growing up and they're having their growth spurts. Of course, they need a lot of food. So I focus a lot about the protein in them, the meat, the eggs, the cheese, right? So make sure that they really have good protein for their bones, for their health, right? And also, I share with them about, I think exercising with the kids is also one of the best ways to do it. I always run with my boy, right? Yeah, I mean, boys are active. Yes, my girl, she just stepped out going for a Pilates class. I mean, she's not the kind of like running kind of sports, but for her, it's more like yoga, ladies, just do whatever that you like. Incorporate that with the children. I think that is one of the key ways that we could do when they are in their teenage years. Participate in activities to make sure that we are active as well. Because I saw a lot of like mothers, what they tend to do is, let's say I send my children to a swimming class and they'll sit down there and chit chat. And the next thing I ask, when did moms go to swim themselves? Right? Maybe if you do not know how to swim, how about that? While the kids are having their swimming classes, you sign up another coach for your swimming class, right? And start to exercise together with the children. That's what I do. When they're exercising, I'm doing it as well, right? And the next thing about mindfulness is incorporate that together with the kids and teach them how to breathe also. Because as teenagers, sometimes they have a lot of anxiety, especially we are living in Singapore, which is high stress environment for the young kids. They are always constantly in high stress mode due to examinations and all the demands on them. So having that breathing, okay, not only works on myself, but also work on the children as well. So do it together. I think the key thing I want to advocate for all mothers, especially at the age of their teenage years, is have a life of all this mind and body together with the children. Incorporate that together with them. So that's one of the best thing to do. Yeah. So now let's go to Lisa. At this stage, when the kids, when you have lots of time.
Well,
So how do you take care of yourself?
You think you've got lots of time, but I'm just going to bounce off something that Pauline said for mothers out there. Her advice was very good for teenage children. So I did go to the gym with my children and I did participate with them. So what they had was a mum that exercised with them. Then even as they get older, like even now that they're 27 to 30, they still expect that mum's going to do it with them, and mum does. It actually, so you start the program off now. Your children never expect you're going to be the mum that just sits on the sidelines because you've always been in there. And I just find being in my 50s, when I go up there, they're like, come on, mum, get on the quad bike. Or come on, mum, let's play pickleball. They're still expecting, and that is really good for your usefulness. Shelley just said something that I'm like, no, Shelley. She said something about getting old. Now, my grandma, Shelley's not old. I've got nearly 20 years, or I have got 20 years on Shelley. My grandma always said, you're not old until you're 90. And I don't think I'm kicking off a new business at my age. I'm not old at all. I feel like I'm in the prime of my life. A lot of it is the wellness and the fitness and the wellness. But then if I bounce back to what Shirley said about the bad habits, Shirley and Pauline, I can't remember the fellow's name. When we did the Speakers Institute in Singapore, we met that lovely man that did the 21-day challenge. What was his name? And he introduced a 21-day challenge.
Yes. On alcohol. I just remember it was.
But it was alcohol.
To get rid of alcohol.
Yeah, but he gave the science behind it of it takes 21 days.
Is it 21 days?
We'll find out for the next episode.
Yes. So it takes 21 days to form a habit.
Yeah, 21 days to form a habit. And what I've done is I need a new habit. I'm not going to have a glass of wine at night time. So I've actually, even though it doesn't look very good, I've written 21, the number's 21 on my fridge in removable outline or whatever you call it. So each day, no wine, I give myself a big tick. 21 days. And I know if I had younger children, this is to all the mums out there, even Shirley, if I had younger children or teenagers, I'd get them on board because they'd be like, Mum, you didn't tick it off. We had no bad food today. Or, Mum, you didn't tick it off. You had no wine. So it's something that it can be a family challenge. You know what you're doing. They don't totally know what it is. But 21 days. We'll find out his name for the next episode. But I like it. Scott. Yes, Scott.
Yeah.
Right. Oh gosh, this is amazing, Lisa, because when Scott was talking about that, there was a different way that I was thinking of incorporating this again into my business, not into my well-being. So it is a way to actually bring this up, to bring it in as a 21. And I actually think the kids will enjoy it. I think they'll love it.
They'll love it. They'll be like, Mum, you didn't do that. Or, Mum, you forgot to tick it off and we didn't have any soft drink today.
Regardless whether Shirley's at 38 years old, I'm at 48 years old, and Lisa is like 58. So, you see, we represent the 30s, 40s, 50s, and our children of different age group. The same thing works of the 21 days challenge. So something that you might want to do starting from Mother's Day to incorporate how you can have better life, how you can incorporate a better mind and body balance. So if you like our content, please help us to like, share and subscribe to our channel, Global Sassitude. In the next episode, Shirley is going to share with you more, just now she has mentioned, regarding business and career, which she also incorporated the 21 days challenge. So some of you are looking at starting your own mompreneurship, or maybe many of you are currently business owners as well. We're going to talk more about our career life and our businesses in the next episode. So stay tuned and we will see you soon. Bye.
Bye. Bye.